Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. It is cold. Do you hear me? Cold, freezing. It's like Donner Party cold. This is not the kind of weather to go to the Oregon Trail. It's really not. If you are considering taking the Oregon Trail, don't, because this is exactly what happened to the Donner Party. Donner Party, table of 12. Donner Party, table of 12. Your table for seven is waiting. Oh, that's morbid, right? You're welcome. Okay, let me get my slides up and we are good to go. This is that kind of weather where you have to go out and just kind of warm the car up, turn it over. That way you won't get stranded. Very good idea for this kind of weather. Aha, there it is. Whoop, there it is. Okay. We got that. Oh. One last thing. Put that over there, and we're good. Don't need that. And slides are coming up. Wunderbar. Okay. All right. Well, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. And it's it might be afternoon for a few of you guys. So Dansby, thank you so much for being the first one here. Connie Palmer. Hey, Connie Palmer. All right. And cool. There we go. Ha! Chicken, anybody? This is an odd story. But I don't think that it's necessary to get the PETA people involved. I'm sure this is just an anomaly. Um, yeah, could have happened. Probably just an accident, or as they say in prison, he fell. Okay, so apparently, okay, there you go. So Harry and Meghan rescue Ellen DeGeneres chicken. You don't hear that every day. Let's see. And Living Legends of Aviation. That's Harry. And then there's some more news. So let's see if we can be out of here in like an hour, right? So Prince Harry has no power. Oh, we're going to start with this first. Yeah, Prince Harry has no power and is outnumbered by Meghan Markle and her mom, Doria. Royal expert and general fruitcake of the well, actually, there's a lot of cray people in the Royal Rota, but this one is definitely a bit of a Fruit Loop. Royal expert Angela Levin says the Duke and Duchess of Sussex's marriage has given in. He walks behind them. Yeah, he walks behind them. And he should. He should. This is the United States, and the concept of ladies first. Even John F. Kennedy walked behind Jacqueline. This is, part of the culture. Ladies first. Um, that is how I was raised. That is how I was raised. And if Angela Latrine does not get that, I mean, it looks very weird when William walks ahead of Kate, especially when they are not doing one of their official royal functions. I noticed that he still kind of seems a bit impatient with her. It's like the embarrassment of being at the Jubilee prayer ceremony, and there was William walking ahead of Kate, whilst everybody else, including Charles and Camilla, came down the steps hand in hand. Charles and Camilla, that emotional support, excess baggage, Camilla was actually side by side with Charles. And yet, and yet, they expect Harry, who is, I guess she figures he should lord himself over Meghan and remind her of what her place is, and even scarier, that I guess he's supposed to act much the same way with Doria. Forget it. That's not happening. Prince has no power in his marriage with Meghan Markle because she makes the decisions and he is outnumbered by his wife and mother-in-law, a royal expert claims. Well, who's the royal expert? Because it's certainly not Angela Levin. The Duchess of Sussex was a relatively unknown actress when she first met world famous Harry. So I guess that's part of the case they're building, that he should have his wife stay in his shadow. I suppose that's what they're saying. The pair spectacularly fell out with the royal family, quitting as working members of the firm in 2020. Well, anyway, we know all that stuff. But I'm trying to see exactly what kind of case are they building here. He's been outnumbered since he met Meghan and met her mother, said Miss Levin in an interview on GB News. He's given in. He walks behind them. He has no power. You don't feel like he's making decisions. I'm sorry, I had to laugh at that one. The decisions come from Meghan. Isn't this what I have always said about Angela Levin? She said it. This is nothing new, by the way. She always says that. She has been saying that for the longest. Harry has no power. He walks behind Meghan because, after all, she's a Hollywood actress, and Meghan always it's whatever Meghan wants. Whatever Meghan wants, that's what, because she's a Hollywood actress, and they have those Netflix cameras. They're probably followed by Netflix cameras. Archie has a camera in his juice box. Someone needs to inspect it. She has been saying that for years. When are you going to give it up, lady? She has been saying that for years, that Harry somehow does not make decisions for himself. This veteran of war, right, doesn't know how to make decisions for himself. I suppose that he had some type of radio earpiece, and when he was going through training, someone had to tell him, this is do this, this is do that. And then when Meghan came along, she just picked up where they left off. That's how they train pilots, is they don't make decisions for themselves. Yeah, she needs to go back in her toy box looking like a troll doll. You mean this one? She even still has the price tag. She even still has the price tag. Just imagine something called Angela Levin running around looking like this as a child. And then it grew up and turned into this. I tell you, when someone is unhappy, when someone is not in a good place, it's amazing how they reach out and attack someone who has not even, Harry unfortunately spoke to her for 15 minutes and she turned that into a book against the wishes of Harry. She was allowed to, and I know most of you guys know this, but she was allowed to tag along with Harry so that they could write a cover article for Newsweek. Yes, that Newsweek. And during that time, she stayed in the shadows, stayed away from Harry, essentially. And then, as it got close to the end, Harry consented to do a sit down with her for about 15 minutes. And then, yes, she wrote the magazine article for the cover. And then she wrote a book saying that she knows Harry, she spent time with him, and then when someone, even I think it may have been Philip Schofield, said, um, but did you talk to him all that time? You don't really. You don't have to. You can just observe people and learn about them. Like, she was such a grifter. She's like, oh, you don't have to talk to them that much. And Harry was hurt and furious by that book. His team was very upset about that book. Against his better judgment, it was allowed because of whatever pressure to let Angela Levin tag along. And it took Omid Scobie to reveal what he had learned about the situation. He said from everything that he knows about it, and remember, Omid Scobie was in that Royal Rota. He said from everything he knows about it, she was supposed to just tag along and that there was no mention of a book. She took it upon herself to do that. And she has been grifting from that ever since. And of course, the tabloid TV shows introduce her as the expert on Prince Harry. That really went on until Spare came out, and they still do it from time to time. That's a shame. How violating is that? As much as Harry cannot stand the press, to have someone insert themselves into your circle like that and then breach that trust by writing a book. Yes, that's Angela Levin. You know, everything about her says, oh my God, someone just wandered away from the home. is there is there a senior citizens facility nearby? I think one of them have just wandered away. I mean, it's almost as I feel like I'm looking at Sophia Petrillo. I feel like I'm looking at Sophia Petrillo. When I look at this picture, I always expect to like walk out of the restaurant and see like a shopping cart outside. This looks like that person who leaves her shopping cart outside and goes inside to use the bathroom and stays in there for a month of Sundays before the staff starts banging on the door. But yeah, she does not seem like she has a place. Maybe she doesn't. Maybe she lives out of her car. Who knows? Um, yes, I am going to allege that she's does not have a home. Like most trolls, she probably lives under a bridge and terrorizes people. When tell me, children are not frightened of her. You cannot convince me that this is not the kind of person that frightens small children. Could you imagine going to a coffee shop with your children and you know how the kids kind of disappear behind your legs and everything when they see something scary? When they see something scary, that's Angela Levin. That's Angela Levin terrorizing to children. Lied in his book. Uh, well, well, I mean, anything that the Sussexes say or do, isn't that always the accusation? I mean, that's that's uh that's anything. Anything that you say positive about the Sussexes, it has to be a lie. Anything that someone writes about them, it has to be a lie. And surely, if Harry and Meghan says it, then they try to sow the seeds of doubt immediately. So that's that's typical. You can almost write the headline in your own head because you already know what's coming. You already know what's coming. So I suggest that Mrs. Magoo needs to get her eyes checked because those beady little eyes that seem to see things that are not there, she really needs to get those beady eyes of hers checked because she sees what she wants to see. She has selective vision and she just makes up stuff. So it's about time that that somebody goes and get those beady little eyes of theirs fixed because they are seeing things that do not exist. Somebody needs to go and check and see if it's not time to up their prescriptions. Okay, I accidentally muted the microphone. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. I knew to check on it. I said, "Oh, let me make sure you guys can hear me," and you could not. No worries. I got it fixed now. That's why I opened up that other screen. I want coffee. I need coffee. So since I'm able to move around, I am going to make coffee. All right. Let me see here. Oh, there you go. Now you know what? Angela had her DNA taken allegedly, and it turns out that what I have been saying for the longest is true. Angela may possibly be the love child of Mr. Magoo. I do believe that. That is Mr. Magoo's love child. Or maybe she was switched at the hospital. Perhaps she was switched at the hospital. But I insist that that is the love child of none other than Mr. Magoo. Still haven't figured out who the mom is. But that is the offspring of that. Was he Hanna-Barbera? I think that was one of those Hanna-Barbera characters. But obviously, she needs glasses. She really do, because she sees things. She's not some. She's not voyeur. What is it? She's not some kind of prophet or something like that. So how could she see all these things that does not exist? So yeah, I mean, look at the resemblance. Tell me you don't see it. Tell me you don't see the resemblance. I insist that it's there. Rohini. The mom is, how do you say it? The mentor from Harry Potter. That's bad. That's bad. And I thought I was bad, but that's bad. Not the mentor from here. Actually, I don't even know who that is, but I'm sure it's accurate. I trust your judgment. Okay. So anyway, um, this is what Angela Levin is referring to as Harry being outnumbered. I think that any single man who has wanted a family, who has wanted a wife, children, and also could enjoy the benefits of having a patriarch, in the family, a mother figure, especially since losing his grandmother. If Dory is not perfect for someone who has suddenly found themselves without a family, I don't know who isn't. I mean, I don't know who is perfect. I think that is a very balanced family right there, whatever they say. Harry is happy. And you know, a lot of times when Harry's out and there's cameras and stuff like that, it's not easy for him to warm up. But there, I would say the warmth is genuine. And Harry is genuinely happy. So I don't buy all that nonsense. And neither should you. People just get triggered when they see someone living their best life and happy. They really get triggered. You could be minding your business, and all of a sudden, here comes some sourpuss that is unhappy and wants you to be just as bad off as they are. But I'm going to tell you, let me show you something that probably really upset her. Would you like to see that? I want to show you something that I think probably really upset Angela Latrine. That right there. That is the stuff of nightmares for Angela. This, amongst other things, probably keeps her up at night. I think that there is an air of racism, maybe unconscious bias, as Harry likes to say. Yes, let's just say that. I believe that there is an air of unconscious bias behind that Harry is outnumbered. Oh, okay. Well, I know what happens. When I unplug the power cable, it tends to mute the microphone, I think. Okay. I just learned something new. But I think that's a beautiful picture. Harry always seems to have felt better away from home, away from, dare I say, most of his family. And that is a happy person right there. And that bothers them because maybe the problem is the idea that Harry, not just because he's around black people, but let's just say he just happens to be around a family that is black. He has family that's black. And I'm trying to put this delicately, that he could be so much happier away from his family and just happens to have found that happiness with a black family and friends and extended family and such. Maybe that's what the problem is. I don't know. Well, as Anthony Anderson said, hey, mama, mama, Meghan brought her mama too. I wonder. I wonder if Angela Levin spit her tea up when she heard that come out of Anthony Anderson. Hey, mama. Hey, mama. Meghan brought her mama too. I'm pretty sure that upset a few people. The very idea of it, that this is what makes Harry happy, instead of, the usual people. I mean, come on. Is this happiness? That would that make you happy? Leaving this behind, right? And then let me get to the other two. I don't know what's the downside of getting away from them and to never have to look at this thing except for some state occasion, meaning that someone was either married or died. Um, and that's his father, but that's also been a source of quite a bit of pain in his life. So all I'm saying is, if he's happy, I'm happy. He doesn't have to deal with any of that palace intrigue anymore. Let me look at a couple of your comments here. Yes, there you go. Mm-hmm. Mine is Candace Owens. We don't know what she is. Okay. Let me see here. Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. To avoid any mention of the sick old man. Yeah, and it's not like the first time Angela Levin has said something like this. Oh, what is that? Oh, let me see what that is. Hmm. Oh, maybe that's what they were talking about. Okay, I'm not gonna deal with that right now. Yeah, but you're right. It's to keep the focus off the sick old man. I believe that Doria is the mother that the British tabloids tried to say about Carol Middleton. Interesting. Let me see. Well, Willie Leaks picked Carol Middlemess as a mother-in-law and inherited Uncle Gary. Wait, inherited Uncle Gary. I can hardly ever say Uncle Gary without taking a big sniff. And inherited Uncle Gary. Uncle Gary, the baking soda salesman, the purveyor of the finest baking soda in the land. Sometimes he's up all night separating and packaging baking soda so that he can distribute it amongst his friends and townspeople. I have never seen anybody use such care when they're trying to measure their baking soda. Not even the finest chefs have been as careful. So, uh, yep, he's gone through more baking soda than Arm and Hammer. Okay. Okay, let me see here. I'm happy for Harry though, and it's too bad that other people from his nation of birth. Well, I'm sure most people are happy for him, but the people that should be rooting for him are not. And then, of course, this photo is exactly what, well, let's not say that one. This photo right here, this is exactly what they were trying to avoid. That's why they said, don't you think you should date her for 10 years, like I did with Kate? You should spend about 10 years just to make sure that you're ready. Yeah, 10 years. I give it 10 years. uh, Well, thank you, Rohini. Let's see here. Okay, let's move on from that. So right here, Prince Harry to receive aviation honor in ceremony hosted by John Travolta. By the way, I love that photo of Harry. Look at him. He's like around military people and he's in his element right there. I'm glad too that, it was said by the haters, by the tabloid journalists, the royal rotas and stuff, they try to make this big case about what Harry has lost. He's been stripped of this, he's lost that, but he has found community in California, which includes military people. I mean, he's always going to have that community because of the Invictus Games, but it just goes further than that. It goes so much further than that. Um, if there's one thing that assures me of Harry's future success, that is Harry himself. But aside from that, the fact that he still has these close ties with the military families and military leaders. I mean, every level, Harry has connections, whether it's veterans, whether it's enlisted people, and of course the families of the military. He has those connections, and they cannot take that away from him. As much as they would like to, they're just not able to do that. That is his to keep. That is something that he worked very hard to establish. Is the connections that he's made in his life, and it just grates on the nerves because William does not have that. William does not have those kind of connections. Never had it, never will. He can only sit back and observe Harry and, of course, the incredible connections that he's made over his lifetime. He can only just sit back and observe. And it's got to be really, really painful for him to see how successful Harry is, growing outside of the shadow of a big weed like William. That's got to be exhausting for them. Oh, well, let me move on. Can't wait for the big day. So, Vanity Fair, as per usual. Vanity Fair has been mostly fair with the Sussexes. I don't know that I've ever seen like a really bad article from them. Some of you may have, but I haven't. But this article right here, Prince Harry has a date with the wide open sky, and John Travolta, the 39-year-old who moved to California with his wife Meghan Markle after exiting his role as a working royal in 2020, will be honored on January 19th as one of four inductees into the ranks of the Living Legends of Aviation. The ceremony will be held in Beverly Hills, California, and is set to be hosted by John Travolta. Harry served as a helicopter pilot in the British Army for a decade, including 2 tours of Afghanistan, as well as training flights in the UK, US, and Australia. He was good at it, good at it too, rather. During his training, he won a prize for being the best co-pilot gunner. He officially left the British Army in 2015 with the rank of captain and continues to work with active service personnel, veterans, and their families through his Invictus Game competition and more efforts. So, I guess that's one of the things that I want to point out. He won as best gunner or co pilot gunner, whatever. Now, some of them are trying to say that Harry was only a co-pilot, only riding in the rear seat or whatever. But as we all know, Harry went through extensive training and is a licensed pilot for the Apache helicopter. He has his, I mean, he can do either one. He seemed to have excelled as the gunner, but he can also fly the thing if he needs to. He is certified to do that. So they they seem to have gone through a lot of trouble to throw out as much misinformation as possible. I went through the comments and I blocked a whole bunch of people. There was someone who brazenly said that Harry failed his exams 3 times and that Harry, listen good now, Harry only was allowed to fly because he's royal. And they could sit there and tell a bald-faced lie like that and then try to put it in the comment sections all over the Sussex squad. That is an absolute lie. And the person who said it, they're only doing that not because they believe it to be true, but because they think that that, among other things, is supposed to uh, hurt Harry, to mess up his character, to ruin his character by telling the lie that he failed his exams. They call it a swift boat. It's swift boating. And that's what they did to John McCain and John Kerry when he was running for president. They repeat the same lies over and over again. Harry's not running for public office. He has already been selected to receive an honor. It is going to happen whether or not he shows up. But that doesn't matter. They want to make sure that they disparage his name as much as possible before the day. They want to create doubt so that people look at him and they have a pre-programmed message through very careful brainwashing and gaslighting. They want to instill that message that Harry, not all is what it seems with Harry. It's just something not right about him. Such is social media. It has given a lot of people tools and weapons to go after the innocent. Ulevi says, I have blocked about 152 people on X after playing with their mind. It's good for you. Where's my bell? Where is my bell? Good for you. I love hearing that. Where is, you get a bell for that. First, you kind of toyed with them, and then you lured them into a false sense of security. And then when they wasn't looking, you went right for the jugular. I love it. Good for you. Good for you. Okay, let's move on. So, part-time Prince Wales, Duke of Cambridge, works just 20 hours a week for air ambulance. Prince William spends on average only 80 hours per month working as an air ambulance helicopter pilot. It has emerged. And look at who wrote that. Richard Palmer. Richard Palmer said that in 2016, pre-Meghan. Yeah, pre-Meghan. I guess for now on, I'm going to have to use 2016 PM, pre-Meghan. Yeah. And then, of course, well, I can't say post-Meghan because that would be PM also. But anyway, that is the way that they spoke about them before Meghan came along, before the invisible contract. The crazy thing is they are insulting him for the same thing they praised him for. Isn't that the truth? Yeah, they once praised him for the very same things, and now they have turned to insults. Make that make sense. Oh, AM after Meghan. Thank you, Rohini. PM pre-Meghan, AM after Meghan. Thank you. That is perfect. Of course, I'm going to forget to do it, but Prince Harry's induction into the Aviation Hall of Fame has humiliated William, critics fume. So this is from the Star magazine. The Star is a newspaper, really. It's a newspaper, a weekly newspaper, and it's from the US, right? Now, a lot of the people that work for Star are actually expats from the UK. The Star and the Inquirer, they were full of British expats. So Prince Harry will be inducted into, well, we know that already. So Prince Harry is being inducted into the Living Legends of Aviation Hall of Fame. Despite backlash from critics, Duke of Sussex will join the likes of Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong after it was deemed he had made significant contributions in the aerospace industry. He will officially join the ranks on January 19th in a lavish ceremony in Los Angeles. Actually, it's Beverly Hills. It's in Beverly Hills. Taking to X, formerly known as Twitter, to announce the news, the royal author Omid Scobie wrote, Prince Harry is to be inducted into the Living Legends of Aviation Hall of Fame, joining other aviators who have made significant contributions in the aerospace industry, including Buzz Aldrin, Neil Armstrong. The ceremony will take place, there we go, in Beverly Hills, California on January 19th. Sussex fans were delighted by the news, with one writing, absolutely wonderful. Congrats, Prince Harry. Meanwhile, another added, this guy served his country for 10 years and 2 tours. He deserves respect. And of course, the deranged. But not everybody was happy about the news. One wrote, the Sussexes team must spend all day phoning and begging people to give them rewards. It must be costing them astronaut Lindbergh and the Wright brothers and Amelia Earhart. These are people who deserve to be honored, not Harry. Oh, God. Again, celebrities who became pilots and pilots who became celebrities, among other things. But that was one of the ways they decided who goes into the Legends thing. So that being said, they have a very broad criteria that they use for choosing inductees. But the only reason we're having this conversation, the only reason why there's so much attention that has been brought to it, is because of Prince Harry being a former, should I say, a member of the royal family who has stepped down from official royal duty and has become financially independent. Plus, Harry is lovable, likable, photogenic. People just care about him. And then there is the backstory of how he has always had this bad relationship with his brother. Let's not forget the history of his mother dying tragically in that Paris and tunnel in Paris. That, of course, there's no logical explanation for that. All of those things. He's an American now. Well, he has property, he has children, and of course, he employs people here in the U.S. Another California success story. How many people have moved west to California in search of a second chance? And that's exactly what he's found. And that seems to, shall we say, trigger them. Yeah, that seems to trigger them. Okay, moving on. So others claimed the announcement humiliated older brother Prince William. This is my favorite part. After he penned a foreword to a book honoring some of Military Academy Sandhurst's top alumni, where Harry was left out. Big mistake. Big big mistake, if I can quote Julia Roberts. Hey, weren't you the one that wouldn't wait on me the other day? You refused to wait on me. Oh, yeah. Big mistake. Big mistake. Well, same thing here. Didn't you all have a chance to include Harry in that Sandhurst thingamajig? Yeah. And you chose not to? Right. Big mistake. Big mistake. I'm going to give myself a bell for that. Big mistake. Big mistake. It's the same thing. It's just like Julia Roberts going into that shop with all those credit cards and everything, and they refused to wait on her because they were judging a book by its cover. Well, big mistake. Big mistake. Meanwhile, another added, pray for Prince Willie and his little Sandhurst temper tantrum. Congrats to Prince Harry. Keep winning, Harry. A third chimed in. Now Prince William has taken a big fall. Was he the one who wrote the preface to the book about the highlights of the military school where they excluded Harry? The only mention of the Duke in the Sandhurst recent list of his 200 most notable graduates comes in William's passage. The Daily Star previously reported it comes despite Harry having served 2 terms as an Apache helicopter pilot. The excerpt reads, his status as the future king meant that he could not be deployed on operations like his younger brother, Harry. Despite that, he barely worked. William did the very least. And it has been alleged that he lost a firearm and stolen a helicopter. Not exactly a model student. William was free to spend as much time in the military as he would like. Maybe he wouldn't have to, or he, could not have been deployed. I would be fair about that. Maybe it was a matter that he could not be deployed. But it didn't mean that he did not have the ability to serve. He still could have served. He still could have served. And as odd as this sounds, believe me, if it was up to the Queen, he would have to go. If it was up to the Queen. But I don't think William wanted to go. The Queen was very adamant about what do you call it? I mean, what's his name? Edward VIII, right? Edward VIII went to the front lines during World War I. Is this something that the Queen refused, or is this something that the tabloid media has made up? Right? Is this something that they have made up? Because I remember that Edward VIII actually went to the front lines. And also, Edward VIII even gave his security the slip, it was reported, and he took a motorbike and went to go as close to the front line as possible, leaving his royal protection officers feverishly chasing after him. But he wanted to be close to the action for the benefit of those who were on the front line. He wanted to at least try to share as much of the risk as possible. But, and mind you, it's probably true because with all of the campaign of hostility against Edward VIII, the Duke of Windsor, something as heroic sounding as that, they would not have allowed that to have been reported. They would have found a way to hide or try to dismiss that information as untrue because it makes him seem like a real person. So, but he was no coward. Oh, well. All right. Let me continue here. So, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle adopt Ellen. Oh, yeah. Let's get to the chicken. Charles, Charles. If I can quote Camilla, Charles, Charles. She looks like an old hen. Charles, Charles, Charles. Anyway, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle adopt Ellen DeGeneres' chicken named Sinky after being bullied by her flock and will now live out her days at the couple's $14.5 million Montecito mansion. And of course, as you see the price there, I want you to take a look at the red box that I put at the bottom there. Notice who wrote this. You see that? That's why we see the price. Bird is called Sinky because she lived in an old stone sink in Ellen's backyard. Meghan, a tour of her coop named Archie. Okay, yeah, Meghan, a tour of her coop named Archie's Chick Inn during Oprah's interview. Oh, yeah. Okay. I see what that means. Anyway, let's go on. All right. So this is by People magazine, right? Ellen DeGeneres says friends, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle adopt one of her chickens. Not sure yet what the royal title will be, DeGeneres joked as of the bird who was being bullied by the coop mates. Now, notice People magazine did not include a price for the Sussex household. Only the tabloids do that. I don't consider People magazine being much of a tabloid. It's just an American magazine, although there is elements of the, UK journalists there, the tabloid British media journalists, but still, they decided to avoid saying anything about the price of the Sussex household, which would let you know that is part of their deliberate campaign. One of Ellen DeGeneres' chickens came home to roost with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, bullied by his coop mates after suffering a fibula injury. A fibula? I don't even know what that is. One of DeGeneres' many feathery friends had to be rehomed. Thankfully, her pals Harry and Meghan agreed to take him in, the former TV host revealed in an Instagram post on Saturday. Wow. Yeah, I don't even know what a fibula is. And trust me, now that I'm over 50, I'm not even sure I can still reach my fibula. Yeah, I'm at that age where my fibula may be out of reach. Of course, if I could reach my fibula, I probably would never know another lonely night as long as I live. We are still talking about chickens, right? I think that's just something that happens when you get older. Your fibula is out of reach. Reach out and touch somebody's fibula and make sure that you're able. Oh, I don't know. I can't find a. How could you rhyme something with fibula? Fibula. I'm going to have to try to rhyme something with fibula. I like to. No, I can't think of a song for fibula. That's a tough one. I cannot think of a song for fibula. I told you, if I can't reach it, I certainly can't sing it. Oh, man. What's in this coffee, huh? Is there anyone else who has a problem reaching their fibula? I'm just asking for a friend. Am I the only one? Oh, really? Fibula is a bone in leg. Uh-huh. Maybe that's why I can't reach it. Elaine Parker, thank you so much for the super sticker. and thank you for being here tonight. And also thank you for being a fantastic moderator and a long time supporter of Royal Sussex. Yeah. So anyway, I am going to put my fibula away for now. Oh man. Who knew chickens had fibulas? Not I. So here's another headline. Notice it doesn't mention the price of the Sussex home. Ellen DeGeneres is caring for a chicken with a broken fibula. Oh, by the way, this is from, that's from December. So that is before spatula fibula. Reach out and touch somebody's fibula and make sure you use a spatula. Reach out and touch somebody's fibula and make sure you always use a spatula. Okay. Yalibi, I think you have rescued me. Take a little time out your busy day to grab a fibula along the way. Oh, okay. That just got weird. Never mind. That just got weird. But I thought he left Congress, right? Are you talking about George Santos? Why American government are studying UFOs and aliens right now? Even Capitol Hill representatives are involved in searching for UFOs right now. What is it? Pond Summit blog, is that right? Poon Summit. Anyway, all I can say is George Santos was the only alien that I've ever seen at Capitol Hill. Subject to fits of lies and deception. And of course, you know how they always say the aliens are living amongst us. Well, since George Santos seems to have so many different identities, matter of fact, didn't he get in trouble for that? I would say if there was any alien activity going on Capitol Hill, it was George Santos. And since he has been removed from Capitol Hill, removed from the Congress, I think that our sightings of alien life forms is over. Unless you include Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell and Marjorie Taylor Greene, those are two of the other bizarre, unexpected life forms that have been haunting the hallowed halls of Congress. But other than that, I can't think of any others. But yeah, George Santos is gone. So that's one down. Well, actually two, because he had different personalities. So that's two down and two more to go. Yep. Bet you didn't think I could answer that one, didn't you? Connie Balmer, thank you for the super sticker. And thank you for being with us here tonight, all the way from Switzerland. So it continues here. Ellen DeGeneres just shared an update on her injured chicken. So this was back on December 22nd. I didn't know this. I wonder if this chicken has its own agent now. You know what I'm saying? Because this chicken has blown up. I bet you this chicken has his own agent. Yeah, or her own agent. This chicken probably is represented by the William Morris Agency. I bet you this chicken works more than this chicken works more than some of those actors from those what do you call it? From those sitcoms that have recently been canceled. Yeah, this bird really works. It's a working bird. On Friday, the comedian posted an Instagram video informing followers that her chicken, Sinky, um, after an animal was found with an injured leg in the clip, DeGeneres, 65, shared that her taking the injured chicken to the veterinarian, it was confirmed she has a broken fibula. There's that word again, and will need 4 weeks to recover in a special facility. Wow, that chicken has better health care than I do. You know, if I broke my fibula tomorrow, I don't know how I would ever get it fixed. But here, this chicken, which is represented by the William Morris Agency, uh, oh, what is that? No sound. Let me take a look here. Let me just make sure. Oh, you know what? You're probably on a little bit behind us. I bet you're probably on just a little bit behind us, but you'll catch up with us. Yeah, that's probably what it is. I think the sound is probably fine. Just checking, and it is. Yeah, so that chicken is represented by the William Morris Agency. That chicken has the finest health care available. I wonder if that chicken is a member of the Screen Actors Guild. You think? I'm just asking for a friend. Anyway, after Ellen DeGeneres shared the news, she joked that she told the vet, "You got this. I mean, you got to be fibbing me. You got to be fibbing me." Oh well, uh, you got to be fibbing me. Poor chicken. And look at how distraught Ellen DeGeneres looks. B. Martem, B. Martem, the chicken has one little fracture to his tibia, what is it? The hell is that thing? The I broke it. Whoa! Oh, Philip, Philippa. Oh God. You know what? When it starts making sense, that's probably when I need to move on. But that chicken has fractured his fibula, and already you ready to get some hot sauce, heat up some oil, pluck his little feathers, and dust it with some flour real good, and what comes next, God only knows. But I don't think I want to be a party to this conversation. You're scaring me. I prefer mine with barbecue sauce. But you are scaring me. I'm so afraid right now for that chicken. I mean, haven't Sinky suffered enough? Oh no, Rohini, you too? Sinky needs to be curried. Oh no, what are you guys plotting for Sinky? Sinky has had such a stuff like this doesn't usually happen in Santa Barbara. And you guys are plotting frying up Sinky and uh, dipping her in curry seasoning and what have you. That poor chicken has suffered. Hasn't Sinky suffered enough? And you guys are ready to just what do you call it? Quarter her and or him, her, them, they. Now, here's the voice of reason. Helene says, when Sinky is healed and rested, she will star in her own chick flick. They expected to hit on stage. Outraged box office. Outrageous box office numbers. Lord have mercy. Never. Here's another one. You want to take Sinky that is down to Harold's. That is the worst place for a chicken to hang out. Is down at Harold's. Harold's is where chickens go to disappear. So the chickens go in, the chickens walk in, right? Except for Sinky will hobble in, but the chickens walk in, and then you never see or hear from them again. But ironically, as the chickens march into Harold's, people march out with boxes or bags or whatever that reek of fried something. But yeah, you guys are just, I think this is absolutely cruel. Anyway, as you can see, here's our Duchess right there in front of Chick Inn. Archie's Chick Inn, established 2021. So Archie, who is the caretaker, the owner and purveyor um, of the Archie's Chick Inn, he doesn't allow cameras in there normally, but because it was Oprah Winfrey, camera crews were allowed to visit Archie's Chick Inn. First time it was ever seen on television. Archie's Chick Inn. And right there, you can see Ellen DeGeneres's, what do you call it? Stinky, or Sinky. Why I keep saying Stinky? Sinky's leg is fixed, but our chickens, let me pull that down so I can see it. Cannot see that one. There we go. But our chickens were still pecking on her, so we had to be. I'm sorry. So she had to be rehomed. Luckily, our friends Harry and Meghan coop had room for one more. Not sure yet what her royal title will be. So poor Sinky. Sinky healed after all of that intervention from a veterinarian. I wonder if they use the same vet that they use for the Queen Consort. You think? I wonder if he has an office in London. I wonder if it's the same vet that that has been looking after the Queen Consort. Charles, 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 Charles. Anyway, but there's little Archie looking after the chickens at Archie's Chick Inn. How much fun is that? I'm pretty sure there's probably one already. Don't you think so? I mean, who wouldn't have grabbed that name years ago? Oh, well. Lisette Zog is here. Thank you so much for being here. That poor chicken has been through so much, and yet they still attack her. And there, of course, is another rare scene. The outer area of the Archie Chick Inn, you can see uh, a prince, a queen, and a princess as they sit there and talk about their lives while feeding the chickens at Archie's Chick Inn. How much fun is that? So, in case you were wondering, there's Beverly Hills, and if you look there, you can see how far away Beverly Hills is from the Chick Inn. Let's see. Oh, Paltrow, Rob Lowe, Oprah Winfrey, George Lucas, really, and Ellen DeGeneres. So there you go. You can see where Ellen lives around there. Boy, I tell you, that would be a fun place to live, right? I would love to live there. Good old Santa Barbara. And one thing about Sinky, Sinky is going to have a much better, and I hate to say this, no shade to Ellen DeGeneres, but the chickens at Archie's place, they usually get involved with a bit of, what is it, yoga or Pilates. You can see right there, they they have classes daily so that the chickens can really center themselves and be at one with the universe. You see that? Yeah. That's why when you go to Archie's Chick Inn, all of the chickens greet you by saying namaste. Namaste. Namaste to you too. Namaste, namasabu mambusa. Namaste, namasabu mambusa. Yep. All of the chickens at Archie's Chick Inn, that's why they don't fight with each other. Sinky is at a place where she's not likely to be injured because the chickens at Archie's Chick Inn, they do relaxation, they have group activities, you know, spa treatments and stuff like that. So it's the best place in the world for a chicken is at Archie's Chick Inn. See there? That is a very quality life that that chicken will have from here on out. So actually, breaking that fibula is probably the luckiest thing that could have happened to Sinky. Now Sinky, this chick is surrounded by prime industry management. Rooster Perry is making it all happen. I'm glad you guys are enjoying this topic, but I have to remind you guys, a bird has been injured. A bird has suffered a heinous injury because of the other chickens. And while we're having fun with this, I just want you to know that at the center of this story is an innocent fowl named Sinky that has been bullied and pecked at and everything. It just goes to show that no matter how nice the house may look or how expensive the zip code or postal code, you never know what happens behind closed doors. There was poor Sinky suffering in silence, not knowing from one day to the next what's going to happen. And fortunately, Sinky found a new home at Prince Archie's Chick Inn. So this is I'm telling you, this really should be a children's story. Someone, they should write a novel about this, right? They really should. I wonder who would play Sinky. I wonder who would play Sinky. I mean, who has the depth of character, the type of lineage? Buck 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 meat meat buck 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 meat. YM George says Camilla had mild sauce and coleslaw in her present. Banned a long time ago. I'm sure Sinky will get her agent to do the same. Ah, ooh, my face is starting to hurt. Well, thank you, YM Droid. I knew that there was some kind of. It's really a redemption story. It's a story of redemption, isn't it? Yeah, it is the feel good hit of the summer. I can't wait until next summer when uh, the life and times of Sinky. I can't wait until that hits the theaters. So again, I think that turkeys are probably safe because a turkey is a really robust, meaty, tough old bird, and nobody messes with turkeys. Turkeys will mess you up. So maybe they should hire a turkey to patrol the chicken coop over at Ellen's place. Because some turkeys, they just look like they know how to regulate. You know what I mean? So maybe they should try to find some tough old bird to patrol the perimeter to make sure that there are no fights and no bitter rivalries that develop into violence. You know what I mean? So there's a way to do these things, but you have to be open. You have to use your imagination. So when something like that happens, the best thing to do is to find a tough old bird to come in there and straighten out everybody. And of course, those tough old birds, they have a way of letting out the old battle cry. Have you guys heard the battle cry? Let me remind you. Now, that is how you get people back in order. You just cry out as loudly as possible. Okay, now let us move on from that. So, just in case you were wondering who Carolyn Graham is, that's Carolyn Graham right there. I have mentioned her before. Carolyn Graham, she is the one who, of course, let me see, where is that at? Which article was hers? Oh yeah. She's the one who wrote the article that mentions the price of the Sussex household. Remember that one? She is the one who had to include. Oh wait, that's not it. Right there, Carolyn Graham. She's the one that had to include the price of Sussex Manor. Unnecessary to the story, but then again, how can you be sure to create an air of hostility and the assumption of wealth and privilege for two very normal people like Harry and Meghan? So, Carolyn Graham, the daughter of Dixie herself, wrote that article about the chickens that included the price of the Sussex household. She's the one who bravely has gone where most people would never go before, and that is she climbed Mount St. Thomas Markle and came down with that letter, allegedly. As you can see here, take a look at that. It says, I was looking for a receipt and just realized that both rumors about Meghan and Dior and Senate all came from Queen Camilla's biographer, Carolyn Graham. These were then extensively debated on UK morning shows, Camilla going after Princess Diana's daughter, and law is, I'm sorry, going after, you know what I mean, daughter in law is a sickness. This is a quote from one of the squatties. And yeah, that is Carolyn Graham. She is from the South, born and bred from the South. And for whatever reason, she got a job. This seemingly right wing individual got a job with the Daily Mail. There is something about her mentality and that of the Daily Mail, which seems to be a right wing rag that seems to go hand in hand. It seems like a hand to the glove fit for her. And yes, she moved or relocated to Mexico and spent a morbidly curious amount of time with Thomas Markle. Yeah, so much so that they got really, really cozy. So we don't know exactly how that letter of Meghan's was released to the British tabloid media company Daily Mail, but Carolyn Graham writes for Daily Mail. Daily Mail is the one who published excerpts from the letter, not the entire letter. And of course, Carolyn Graham is the one that you see pictured here with Thomas Markle. So I'm just saying she really took one for the team. There are not many ladies who would spend that much time with Thomas Markle for any reason, let alone possibly, allegedly, finding that letter and then giving it to a newspaper to publish. Yep. But I have to give it to you. That is dedication. Anybody who would climb Mount St. Thomas Markle, who would climb up that mountain, figuratively speaking, I think, and come down with that letter. You know, I saw the 10 Commandments, and I know Moses went to the mountaintop and came down with some stone tablets, and, you know, and hence there was the 10 Commandments. But I have never seen a daughter of Dixie that finds someone that looks like an old wino and climb that mountain and come down with a letter that ends up getting somebody sued. But that's dedication. I mean, she took one for the team. What could I say? She took one for the team. I don't know how many people could have kept their food down long enough to get through it, but she did. She managed to. I could imagine most decent people say it, covering their mouth. Oh, I'm gonna be sick. I'm gonna be sick. I could imagine most decent people saying, I think I'm gonna be sick. But not her. She climbed the mountaintop and came down with that letter. And Lord Nappyhead will forever be in her debt. Lord Nappyhead, of course, the publisher, the owner of the Daily Mail, the racially ambiguous owner of Daily Mail. Looked just like somebody in my family, but I think he's supposed to, well, he's passing. He's passing. Let me see. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Unbelievable, right? But she's proud of her heritage. Yes, she is, bless her bones. She's proud of her heritage and she's proud of the South. The South will rise again. The South will rise again. Yep, the South shall be avenged. It shall rise again. Yep, she looks like an old Confederate, don't she? Looks like an old Confederate. Mount St. Thomas Marco. I wonder how many climbing parties have gone up or have attempted to climb up and just couldn't get through it, or I wonder I wonder how many people have geared up to climb that mountain and at the last minute was like, life is too short. I wonder how many. Because there's some people that will look at a mountain like that and say, nope, nope, nope. But we need that letter. Nope. And of course, take a look over there. Meghan Markle consider run for office. Duchess of Sussex name is in the frame to fill California Senator Dianne Feinstein's seat after Senator died age 90, and could be the White House. And could the White House be her ultimate aim? Right. So you all, she knew better. She knew better. But writing this article, and as the squatty pointed out here, where is that at? Just realized both rumors about Meghan and Dior and the Senate all came from Queen Camilla's biographer, Carolyn Graham, right? So a lot of those negative things like that, it seems like they just seem to go along or coincide. It's just like with the Republicans here in the United States. Some days you wake up and they all seem to have the same talking points. So it has been alleged that Carolyn Graham, who climbed Mount St. Thomas Marco and came down with a letter, helped to orchestrate some of these things with her columns, right? So either this is just a very odd coincidence or is there something more to it? I am assuming that there's something more, like it's part of a concerted effort to get the Sussexes at any cost. That old Thomas Marco, he don't like cotton. He don't like cotton. So he got with the daughter of Dixie herself. Oh boy, there's a common thread there, and I'm not sure exactly what it is. There is a common thread. Choose your words carefully, please. But there is a common thread, and I know not what it is. Yes, there's a common thread. You know, I could just hear that song, the Beverly Hillbilly. Y'all come back now here. Yep, I look at that photo and I think the Beverly Hillbillies. Although I'd have to say, um, Granny, Jed, Jethro, Jethrine, Ellie Mae. I think they all had way more class than that crew. The Three Stooges, good one, good one. The Three Stooges, that's a good one. Thank you. Anastasia. Okay, you guys, I'm going to leave that one behind. I've had enough of that crew. Gonna leave that one behind. Take a look at a couple more of your comments. Oh, the grifting hillbillies. Good. All right. Thank you very much for that. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I know that's a tough one, isn't it? That's a tough one, Rohini. What was it? What was it? So take a look here. I forgot the name of this place, but that is where the Queen of Denmark, Marguerite, the Marguerite, that is where she resides tonight. Tonight is the last night that she will be the sovereign. This is the last night that she is going to be reigning as the Queen of Denmark. You take a look there. There she was when she first got on the throne on the right, and on the left side, this is the speech that shocked the world when she said she was stepping down in favor of her son, Frederick, Crown Prince Frederick. And right there, you can see there's the crowd singing to her. She was looking out the window, observing the crowd singing. There's people lining the streets and everything in advance of the ceremony tomorrow. And the what do you call it? The horses and guards and everything. They were seen practicing throughout the day for the event tomorrow, which, well, actually, for the event later today. Should be happening soon, I would imagine. But yeah, so long, Marguerite. Welcome, Frederic. And there on the right side are her two grandsons that were stripped of their titles. Nikolai, Count Nikolai, as he's called now, instead of Prince Nikolai, he's Count Nikolai, and his brother, whatever his name is. Those are the ones who have the biracial Asian mother. And anyway, the queen stripped them of their titles, even though they were supposed to lose their titles. This was so silly about that. They were going to lose their titles on their 21st birthday, but for whatever reason, she could not wait. She went ahead and stripped them of their titles sooner rather than later. That's the part that a lot of people forget. On their 21st birthdays, they were supposed to be taken down to the status of counts, but she couldn't wait. She just had to strip their titles. That was very cruel. I still say that that's very cruel. Well, she didn't want her son to have to do it. She wanted to do it herself. But it was odd because they were going to lose their titles anyway. Now, some people say that that was a political move to do kind of like King Charles with his slim down monarchy, for political reasons or for the future of the royal family. She wanted to make it seem like they don't cost as much or something like that. I still cannot figure that out. It just seemed cruel and uncalled for. And they happen to have Asian blood. I wonder if that was an aggravating factor. And there she is, days before stepping down. I think this was a few days ago. wearing the colors of the Danish flag, red and white. So, Racial Justice Org criticizes Twitter's lack of response to Meghan Markle harassment. The social media giant failed to act in the face of coordinated attacks on the Duchess of Sussex, says Color of Change President Rashad Robinson. The leader of the online racial justice organization, Color of Change, is criticizing Twitter. I'm sorry about that, for the failing to sufficiently respond to a sweeping harassment campaign targeting Meghan Markle. Twitter, what is wrong with me tonight? Twitter analytics company Bot Sentinel released a report 2 weeks ago that found that a small number of Twitter users organized and amplified attacks against the Duchess of Sussex. The campaign highlighted a wider issue: the ability of a few individuals on social media to spread hateful content to millions, especially if platforms fail to respond appropriately. And right now, so you guys know, there seems to be a free-for-all on Twitter. And one of the reasons why we were able to see so much of what's happening in Gaza is because there's little of, if any, regulation taking place on Twitter right now. I have seen some horrendous stuff since October, and it seems like it's not going to stop anytime soon. Elon Musk has taken this hands-off approach with it, and so they are able to. It's like the Wild Wild West. I don't think there's any interest in helping stop this attack on Meghan. And they're very organized. They're very organized. Okay, so I'm going to leave that right there because we're already an hour and a half, and I don't want to go too late tonight. Secret summit over making Charles regent in Queen's last years. I said some time ago that Charles has been acting as regent, and I've also referred to him as regent in all but name only. Charles got rid of some of the loyal staff of the Queen and replaced them with his own people. And as Harry said, he wanted to make sure that his grandmother had the right people around her. Well, if that's not an indication of the fact that the Queen was not in charge of her diary, as they say, like when Harry wanted to see the Queen, and the Queen said, "Oh, well, you can't." No, first she said you can come, and then when Harry landed, then all of a sudden her secretary said that her diary was full and that he wouldn't be able to see her. And he was like, "Well, what about later on this week?" "Well, she's going to be busy all week." Those are the kind of decisions that they were making on behalf of the Queen. It's as though the Queen was being held prisoner. And I promise you, with everything that's been going on, you would think that there would be more said about Harry's assertion that he wanted to make sure that the Queen was safe and that she had the right people around her, meaning that she was not safe and she wasn't well cared for. As we saw her leaving the house with her coat open, then it was buttoned up the wrong way. And of course, it just seemed very strange. Like when Harry and Meghan made that surprise visit, next thing you know, the Queen was spirited off to Sandringham, possibly against her will, but she was spirited away to Sandringham. And she wasn't released from Sandringham until the Sussexes were safely back in California. Very, very odd, very odd. So it seemed like it was some type of cryptic statement, but Harry said it with his full chest. I want to make sure that she's got the right people around her. And did he use the word safe? Very strange. Charles took over toward the end. I think once Charles got what he wanted, it was c'est la vie, Your Majesty. Once he got what he wanted. And that all seemed to crash down after, wait, not that, after this. Accession Day 2022, the 70th anniversary of her reign, of Her Majesty's reign. This is when the Queen said to please refer to Camilla as the Queen Consort and show her the same type of respect that you have shown me and the rest of my family, blah, 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 blah. And it seems like after that, the Queen just slowly disappeared. She slowly disappeared, only seen on select occasions. Now, some people would say, oh, well, she was sick. Yeah, supposedly. But somehow, Harry managed to get not only himself, but the whole family in to see her without the rest of the family knowing. We may never know the truth about it, which is kind of frustrating for me, but we may never know the whole story. But trust me, there is a story there. I have been saying that for the longest. And some of you guys are like, oh, well, she's this, she's that. She may have been the worst possible person over the years. But at the end, there was a very frail and vulnerable person who was not in charge of her day. She could not act independently. And this was a very crucial time because this was during that period when Harry needed her the most and she wasn't there. And I don't think she wasn't there because she didn't care. I think she was not there and unable to act because she was prevented from acting. Harry even said so in his book. She just sat there and took it all in. What about when he said that he talked to her and he said, are they there now? And she just didn't say anything. And we're talking about the Queen. We're talking about the Queen. Very odd. Very, very odd. So I would love to know what the truth is, but that is one of those stories that I'm afraid nobody is ever going to tell. Is what happened to the Queen toward the end. Oh, that's what I was trying to do. Knowing what we know now, no wonder the Queen did not want to leave her throne. Behind the scene, it must have been hell for Queenie, especially after her support Philip got sick and died. Yeah, yeah. After Philip, she really had no protection, did she? After Philip, there was no protection, and that is what happens. Like, if you guys remember Elizabeth the First, the movie Elizabeth, it was implied in the movie. I mean, of course, nobody can know for sure, but it was implied that when she got to a certain age and all of her friends had died off, that she was like the butt of the joke amongst the younger courtiers who didn't seem to have a lot of respect for her. So I'm thank you for your comment, Lisette, but I'm willing to believe that that seems like that was the last days of Elizabeth the First and Elizabeth the Second. No respect, no consideration, and the butt of a joke. Okay, so I do have a little sound bite for you guys. Let me take the Queen away. Do have a little sound bite for you guys. This was very interesting. And let me see how far we are. I think I'm almost done. I think I'm almost done. Uh,
Obviously there's a lot to unpack with Spare, but I think one of the most interesting things is how Harry discusses the people that have come in and out of his life and who he finds to be influential. And pretty much all of the people that you see, like thematically throughout his journey, everyone that he considers to be heroic or have impacted him in a good way, they have like three main character traits, and that is that they are grateful, or they generally have gratitude for the things they are given and for this world. Two, that they are authentically themselves and they are not easily influenced by other people. And three, that they have compassion. And I think that those are like huge character traits to remember when you don't really understand how you impact someone else's life, even in small ways in day to day interactions. Like someone that stuck out for me was his, like the person when he was met in Africa, and it literally was just this other redhead that he was just so truly like authentically themselves, and he was like, God, like I wish I was like that guy. Like how is he tackling this? It really shows that the people that influence other people's in positive ways are those who are unapologetically themselves, and they aren't easily influenced by other people, and their opinion does not waver based on that around them. It is truly what they believe and what they believe is right. And I think that's a lot of who Diana was and who we remember Diana as, and probably as Harry remembers Diana as. So I think it's really interesting that those are kind of like the traits that he really picks out in people. And obviously I could talk for like a whole YouTube video on all this, but God, if you haven't read it or listened to it, please listen to it. Harry definitely, if nothing else works out for him, he could have a career in reading audiobooks. Obviously there's a lot to unpack with.
Okay, so there you go. Um, yeah, I like her. So, Baron Petal wants you to one day explain the red box. Your version of the red box. I mentioned you had explained it. Explained the red. Oh, I don't remember what I said. I remember what I said, but as far as I know, the red box is has the government papers that the Queen has to sign off on, and usually they do not refuse to sign things, but things that the Queen does not agree with, she will send it back. We found that out, that if there's something that is not um, beneficial to the crown, to the sovereign, that they will send it back, and hopefully it will be changed in their favor. But those are the government papers, and just like with the president signing stuff into law, the Queen had to sign things into law, and so it required the Queen's consent. That was the papers that came over from Parliament, as far as I know, that came over from the Parliament, and it had all of the important documents that required a signature, and the Queen would read through them, sign them. Sometimes she would ask for advice or whatever. Also, as we know, I think the Prime Minister has a box, right? The Prime Minister gets the box, and I don't know if there's anybody else. Well, I don't know of anybody else in the government that gets one, but essentially, it's just a briefcase that has lock and key, and that is apparently where she had that official paper for this staged event, where she signed that document saying that Camilla should be known as the Queen Consort. And yeah, so that's the purpose of the red box. That is, red box goes every place she goes, and she's presented with that box. She does the papers inside, process those papers, and there's a red box just about every day. I assume that unless the Queen is impaired, she would have a red box every day. But that's my best explanation for it, is all of the laws and such that she has to sign off on would have been in that red box. So I hope that suffices. If anybody knows any different, please let us know because that is my best explanation. I know I saw one time, I think I saw in a movie or whatever, they said things that the government didn't really want the queen to address, they would put them at the bottom of the pile. And so the best way to find what they really don't want you to look at is to take all the papers out of the box, turn it upside down, and work from the bottom. Work from the top to the bottom by turning the bottom up to the top. And that way you can find the stuff that they've been trying to delay or hide from the sovereign, which I thought was pretty clever. Let me see. The queen got let's see. The queen got rushed away. Got sick right after after she supported Harry suing the British media. Yeah, I'm not sure what the timeline is, but that sounds possible. That definitely sounds possible. Oh, this sounds juicy. The older ones have been trying to sell access to the royal family through their connections, especially Nikolai. And I think the younger one could have kept their title. The younger ones could have kept their title. Oh, you mean the two girls? Was it two girls, the younger ones? So you mean to tell me that the older siblings, the two boys, are you saying that they had been trying to sell access to the royal family through their connections, especially Nikolai? So Nikolai, that's the tall one, the one that models. Ooh, I didn't know that. Interesting. Thank you for saying interesting. Okay. Oh, that would upend the secession. I hope it's not true. What am I missing, you guys? This sounds juicy. 1960 says, Anastasia, do you really believe that he was really trying to do that? Or could it have been a smear campaign like the one against Harry? It just doesn't make sense that Nikolai would do that. Do what? Do what? I'm going to have to go back and try to figure out what y'all was talking about because this sounds juicy. This sounds really juicy. So Anastasia, you're saying that both Nikolai and his brother, but for a greater extent, Nikolai was trying to sell access. Hey, Marshar, I didn't know you were here. Let me see. Rohini, you are not the only one who has been wondering about that. Oh boy, I'm gonna have to go back further. I miss all the good stuff. I miss all the good stuff. Okay. Okay, so that was about Thomas Markle, right? Let me see. I'm trying to stitch this together. Okay, to make sure that the taxpayers don't pay for them anymore, those two older kids were using their royal titles to get whatever they wanted. Cassandra and yes, the Queen gave them a title, gave them the title count. Okay, who's Cassandra? Let me see. The Queen should have never done that. The taxpayers are still paying the same amount despite the loss of their titles. She lost the respect of her grandchildren and maybe even lost them. Ooh. Okay. Yeah, they're Count and Countess. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's where we get to the older ones for trying to sell access. Uh, oh yeah, they had the tandem desk, right? And Albert loved to keep her pregnant so he could seize power over the kingdom. The person who said he failed the exam is stupid. Well, yeah, that goes without saying. Okay. All right. So I think I'm caught up. I think I'm caught up. Oh, this is the last word of the day. I think we're all done, you guys. Let me see. What else was it? Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. I think it's just in the wrong order. Okay, let me do this one then. Prince Harry is Top Gun in Apache helicopter course. Prince William in trouble after losing gun. Top Gun, lose gun. Top Gun, lost gun. What a contrast. Harry was the top, the best of the best, and William was like the shakiest gun in the West. He just could not keep up. William lost a firearm. William has been handed a severe dressing down by senior officers at Sandhurst after losing his gun during a firing practice. The 24-year-old royal mislaid the powerful machine gun on Friday morning, and it is one of the most embarrassing errors a soldier can be guilty of. Embarrassing. He ain't care. Oh, okay. So we are done. So let me get back to the last word of the day. You'll never be criticized by someone who is doing more than you. I'm sorry, you'll always be criticized by someone doing less. Remember that. So that is the last word of the day. People that are doing more than you, they don't criticize. But the people that are doing less, they got plenty to say. Denzel Washington may or may not have said that. You know, sometimes they put a quote and it ain't even what they said, but that sounds like Denzel. But yeah, so if you're doing the most and you handling your business, you ain't got time to look at what other people doing, right? But it's the ones that are beneath you that are full of vinegar and salt and acid. They have nothing but bad to say. They don't have the good in them. So if people beneath you are criticizing you, that's one thing. But you'll never hear it from the people above you. They don't care to do it because they are too busy living their best lives and handling their business. But it's those that cannot keep up with you that have plenty to say. That's some good advice. That is some excellent advice. Okay, so with that, you guys, I am going to go. Thank you very much. And we always end with our queen's flower, Meghan's affectionate nickname, and of course, uh, good King Harry, as Diana referred to him. Harry, according to Diana, was always the stronger one, but he had to downplay it for the sake of his very fragile brother. What an unfair world this is. Harry should be king, not William. This is 2023, and the people don't need. We haven't heard from her in a while, but not tonight. Okay, so we're done. I guess I will leave it there with flower. And thank you, everyone. Thank you, moderators. Love you guys. And I'm going to cue the Ginger Avenger, and I will see you all tomorrow. forgot to say, I got the loveliest electric digital tea kettle today. I mean to tell you, that thing is some kind of fancy. And it also has the infuser. I've never seen anything like it. So I don't want to say who sent it to me, but thank you very much. That was absolutely lovely. And I am going to use it. And I'll think about you every sip of tea. But yeah, I got to try to take a picture of this so I can share it with you guys. But this is a very, very nice tea kettle. And it also has like stainless steel and everything. So I was not expecting anything as nice as that, but thank you very, very much. Okay. No, it was not on the list. It was not on the list. That was just like a spontaneous surprise. So um, I got this. Oh, I wish you could see it, but I got this tea kettle that I bought from Aldi's years ago, and it's like the white plastic, and it's like kind of like yellowing and everything. And so I'm actually glad to have something really nice like this because at the time that was you know what I could afford, but this one is much nicer than anything I probably would have ever bought for myself. So thank you again. But yeah, I'll show you guys. I'll show you a picture of it. It's very cool. Digital tea kettle. Very cool. But yeah, thank you everyone. And I will see you all tomorrow. Good night or good morning.